I
Yep.
can't hear you, but hold on, let me make sure my speakers are right.
Okay.
Okay, now talk.
That's my
Yay!
best attempt at a dolphin noise. It's not good.
It was beautiful. I thought this background, oh, you can't see my hand. This background just seemed so perfect for dolphins today.
Yes. Dolphins in the
No.
water.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Okay, Mike. Or is it this one? Smart. Does this change my audio at all?
Yeah, it's a little clearer in my opinion.
Okay. It was going through my camera, which I didn't even
Not the end of the
know.
world, but this is a little nicer.
Okay, let's get. I'm in a different location today. Not that you can tell because my background. So everything's all just jumbled up.
Oh, yeah. Okay, take your time.
There we go. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Also good.
Good. Love to hear
This is
that.
last day of school tomorrow, so every day feels like Friday this week.
I I I don't know. I'm having an emotional day, and I was like, tomorrow can't be the last day of school. I'm like, that's ridiculous. Like, it's a Wednesday. It's May. Like something about it just didn't compute in my brain, and I was like, no.
I know, dude. I feel the same because when I was in school, we didn't get out of school till June.
Yeah, I feel like that's the typical. Guess
But
things change, huh?
exactly, and they like don't have a bunch of breaks, and so like their breaks are a lot shorter than when we grew up. So, uh,
Hmm. Interesting.
yeah, so they get out earlier.
Curiouser and curiouser. Well, congrats to the boys on making it through another school year. That's good.
I know. I'm so excited for summer.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, it's already pretty warm here, so that's to be expected in a desert, though, right?
Yeah, yes, it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
It was super nice here, and then we've had these storms roll in, and today it's so cold.
Ew.
So it's May. It's May in Iowa. It doesn't even feel like tomorrow's supposed to be the last day of school because it's freezing right now.
That's odd. It's odd.
It is.
Yeah.
And
I was
we've
gonna ask, do you have any like summer plans coming up or kind of keeping it chill so far and you'll maybe tag something in there?
we have one trip that we're planning for July with two other families whose kids are like in our kids' grades. Um, and we go fishing up in Minnesota. But otherwise, nothing planned. How about you?
I got some tentative things that I'm trying to clarify. Is this happening or is it not? But in late August, early September, we have a friend's wedding in Brazil, so that will be exciting. Yeah, I'm very excited for it.
Damn it. Did I freeze?
You're
That shouldn't
back.
happen.
Your
Oh.
audio is back at least, although your face, glad I got a photo of that.
If I could, I would photo yours. Oh, okay. I think it's because I do this. Let me disconnect.
Okay.
Sometimes my, oh, it's super slow now. Okay. Sometimes my computer just doesn't like when I connect to my monitors and multitask.
Yeah, it's like, no, we just want to keep it simple. And you're like, me too, but we got things we gotta do, people we gotta connect with. So
Dolphins, we got a channel.
Dolphins and channel, I'm so excited.
Me too. Side note, you look so pretty today.
Thank you. I got a slightly more intensive facial about a week ago, so I'm glowing
Mm,
a little more. And I did my makeup, so
it looks
there's that.
good. And the
Thanks. You look
glasses look
glowy
good.
too, by the way.
Oh, I've got a old trusty ring light here
Oh
making sure I'm
yeah. Get a little bit of glossy in there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I have no idea how this is gonna go. I'm a little bit nervous. I've decided to bring a new rock to this one.
Ooh, new rock, new rock.
Yeah.
It looks like amethyst. Is it? Do you know if it's amethyst?
It is some sort of amethyst. Let's see if it'll pick it up. Oh
Yeah,
yeah. So
that's a good.
it's It's a black and it's got orange tips. You can't really see it in this, but
Yes, please. I've got a couple rocks. I've got, well, this is a tried and true. I forget. It's called blue. It's not blue. Don't remember. I don't remember. But then I've got a rose quartz too, because they're so
ooh.
loving. I also don't know how this is going to go, but we've also let people know like this is an experiment. We're going to see what happens. And I feel like there's, well, I don't want to say no better animal or anything like that, but I think dolphins are among the animals that I feel like being playful and experimental is right on target for them. So I think we're in the right place at the right time, you know?
Heck yes.
Yeah.
Have you started recording yet?
Yes.
Okay. Beautiful. Just making sure this is for sure the rock I want.
Okay.
Maybe I got this blue one right here too. I'll do them both.
Why not both?
It's very dolphiny.
Oh yeah. That's a winner for sure. Are you, I'm just gonna say it. Have you gone to the potty? Do you want a potty before we go into state?
I have gone to the potty and I have also eaten, but you know what? Maybe I should potty one more time.
Let's both do a little break. 15, 30 seconds. Okay, see you in a sec.
Okay. Who's
Perfect
ready to
timing.
party? All right, one more tiny time.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I think just like thinking about the ocean and dolphins and your water background, I was just like, I'm just gonna make sure I do that.
Same. When you asked, I was like, well, I could actually pee.
It never hurts, right? Well, before we have you do whatever it is that you'd like to do, I just want to say whether this feels similar to what we've done before or feels totally different, like I feel the vibes. I'm very excited and I have zero worries, concerns. I'm very much just like excited to play and be a little imaginative and tap in intuitively. So I just wanted to give you a little waterfall of encouragement and love and sparkles.
Aw, thank you. I
Yeah.
receive and accept. I'm also excited, but natural to be nervous too.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So we'll just see how it goes, but I'm just gonna go for getting into state without having like a full blown group meditation. If you just want to
Yeah.
like meditate with me,
Yeah. I'm probably just gonna let you tell me when you're ready. Sound good?
sounds great.
Or them? Let someone's gonna tell me when we're ready to go. Someone's gonna say something.
Somehow, some way, you will know.
Exactly. Oh,
All
all
right.
right.
All right. Hello. Thank you for having us here today. If you are ready, we will start with a short introduction of ourselves.
Yes, please.
We come from a collection of dolphins. We are so excited to be here and to bring some fun and joy to your community. Where would you like to begin?
You already answered my first question, which is we are speaking with a collective of dolphins, it sounds like. Is there anything you'd like to tell us about your group? Maybe what part of the ocean you come from, or anything else that you'd like to share about who you are?
We would like to share that we we would not consider ourselves from one part of the ocean or the other, but rather a broader energy that fills not only the waters, but also the skies and the land. We bring love, joy, excitement, and playfulness. We love unconditionally. And we look forward to hearing the questions you have today.
Well, that is good news because I certainly have some questions, and we had one or two from our community as well. So I've been noticing more dolphins in tarot readings. Community members like Vanessa have seen more stories about dolphins in social media feeds. Are you all increasing the number of messages you're sending to humans, or are we becoming more receptive? I'm just curious about the role that each of us are playing in increasing our connection with each other.
It comes with the age of Aquarius. The feminine energy is one that dolphins also holds. We are increasing the love that we are sending outward, the acceptance, the unity, the knowledge, the remembering that we can communicate with you and you can communicate with us. Does this answer the question?
Yes, and I have another question about our communication later. I am also curious, though, our community has noticed a rise in dragon energy as well. Is there any connection between the rise in dolphin energy and dragon energy, which seem to be happening at the same time?
Mm, serpent energy. In order for things to change significantly, they must burn down. And in order for humanity to hold the light, the stability, they must stable and ground into love. And so we work together to burn down what no longer shall be and to help lift up what shall.
That certainly resonates with me, and is definitely in alignment with what my intuition picked up on. So thank you for explaining that a little bit more. You said so yourself. Dolphins are so playful and loving. I'm wondering, have dolphins always been this way? Or, maybe thousands of years ago, were y'all a little different? Like, did you have to evolve to be this amazing, or were you born with this?
We have always been this way. However, humanity has changed in the interactions with us many, many, many years ago. Humans saw us for the love that we bring, and they celebrated in that love with us. They did not used to try to find how they could utilize us to benefit them, but worked with us in harmony, loved us as we love them. But humanity has changed over the years, and that is okay because that brings us to where we are and then where we are going. So, in short, we have always been this way. It is humans who have changed.
That makes sense. Could you share more about in the past how we worked with you more in harmony?
We were a part of the human community, the ones who lived by the water, almost in the way that dogs become a part of your family. We were similar. We would share love with each other. And then, as dolphins do, we would go out and live our dolphin lives and come back and be recognized as individuals and recognize the humans individually, sharing in resources. And because humans were much more loving at that time, we would help bring them food and they would share their love with us. They would share their stories with us. The children would swim and play with us. We were a family, a community.
That is so beautiful. And it's the first time I've thought of sharing resources with dolphins beyond, taking care of our oceans and the coral and the animals and beings in the ocean. Is there anything else you'd like to say about sharing those resources and those stories? I find it so fascinating and uplifting.
It was a beautiful time and one we look forward to getting back to. There is no question that we are heading closer to that way.
Beautiful. A question from one of our new community members, Samantha, is do dolphins like to watch us on the shore similar to how we enjoy watching them? I think I know the answer to this, but I'd like to hear from you.
Ah, we would also like to hear from you, but we can start. We do enjoy watching humans from the water, the same as you enjoy watching us. And we think that you can feel that connection that we bring to you. It is very joyous for us to see the children playing and laughing and still living life centered in love. And we would now like to hear from you.
The sense I had was definitely yes, that dolphins are curious about us and like to watch us. And that I would just validate for Samantha, you asking that question. It sounds like some part of you had a hint that that's true as well. And it's just such a beautiful recognition of your intuition and probably a connection that you have with dolphins as well. Is there anything you'd like to add to that?
No, that was very beautifully said.
Yeah. Also, should I just be calling you dolphins? Or the reason I ask is I was doing a little bit of research because that's what I do. And my understanding is that dolphins do have individual names. So if there's a name you'd prefer I call you, I'd be very happy to do that.
I do not have a human version of my name, but we could bring one in now if it would make you comfortable. I like the name Tammy.
Tammy. Thank you so much, Tammy. That's very nice to be able to communicate with you in this way. Maybe one day I'll learn how to say your name in dolphin. We'll see.
The day will be in spirit.
Okay. In spirit. Does that mean Does that mean after transition, like after death, or do you mean something else when you say in spirit?
I mean, your human mouth will never be able to say it. It will be more like a feeling or a knowing.
I understand. Thank you for clarifying that. I'm wondering, with the history you've shared of how dolphins and humans once lived in immense harmony and being able to communicate with each other, I understand that you have this higher perspective that everything has happened for a reason because it's brought us to where we are now, where humanity is stepping up, burning away what is not meant to be perpetuated, so that we can reclaim love and peace and all of these beautiful energies. But I am still curious, are dolphins ever confused about humans and why we're doing the things that we do? I mean, I just consider you all to be so loving. I imagine that if I were a dolphin, I would find some of our human decisions confusing or frustrating.
We do have reservations and cautions, for we do not enjoy being captured and sometimes killed and hurt physically or taken advantage of. That is not something that brings joy to our existence. But we do understand that this is a part of the planetary evolution, because we do have that deeper connection with Mother Earth that humans have forgotten. But will you remember? That is what we are waiting to see. We are much in the way that you see your star family, only we are here on Earth with you. We are capable of guiding you through telepathic communication from vast distances. We share the illusion of space and time in this reality. However, we do have the ability to transcend the space and time in this reality, to both hold our physical bodies, but to project our spiritual bodies. You can actually find many people, thousands even, who will say that they have connected with us telepathically, who can hear us and who talk back to us. It is not so uncommon. We know that that's a long answer to your question. We both understand what humanity is going through and understand that we also play a part in it.
Mhm.
But that doesn't mean it's joyful.
I understand. And I think it was a nuanced question that benefited from having a longer answer. So I appreciate you being so thoughtful in your response. Um, you mentioned something that I wanted to go a little deeper on, which is instances where humanity has maybe, perhaps, and this is what I want your perspective on, maybe where humanity has taken advantage of dolphins. Um, I've learned that in the 60s, a scientist did some experiments where at first it seemed like he was mostly observing dolphins and trying to communicate with them. And then, it's the 60s, he found out about LSD and administered that psychedelic to some dolphins. Um, when I feel into that, it feels sad to me. And I was just curious if you all wanted to express any feelings or communication about that.
Humans are curious creatures. We do not fault them for being curious and wandering. But as you can imagine, for the dolphins that participated in that experience, It did not go the same as it does for humans, for we are already opened to that pathway. And so it was scary for them. They had a hard time bringing themselves back. And it did have long-term effects on them. It really shut that door for them a little bit, so they weren't as deeply connected to the water and to the other beings. But again, we do not fault humans for being curious. At times, we are curious ourselves.
Mhm.
And even for the dolphins who participated in this experiment, they were also curious. And they did also agree to this.
Thank you, Tammy. I appreciate that. And I appreciate the compassion of yourself and the dolphins in understanding our curiosity, because I do pick up on that as well. I don't, yeah, I don't know that it was entirely rooted in malintent. I'll just say that. And at the same time, while I know you'll probably tell me I don't need to do this, I'm sorry that that happened.
We appreciate your empathy and your care for us, and we accept that.
Thank you. And as you said, we're curious creatures. Dolphins have curiosity as well. And I think one of the beautiful things about that experiment, while it certainly had its, I'll say, darknesses, it seemed that we did learn a lot about dolphins. For example, it seemed as though dolphins are capable, perhaps even interested in speaking human language a little bit based on that experiment. Um, is there anything you'd like to share about that?
We've been speaking to humans since the dawn of human existence. It is, again, humans who have disconnected from the ability to communicate with us. And that does bring frustration into us because we do wish for you to understand us and to communicate as many animals do. So, yes, we do have the capability to learn new things and to try new things, although I do not believe a dolphin has been able to speak human themselves directly from their dolphin mouths.
I appreciate that clarification. As I was reading the article that stated that, I picked up on a sense it may have also been that the human who was working with the dolphin just was a little bit more receptive, and in tune with that dolphin, perhaps reclaiming some of that communication skill you've referred to, as opposed to it necessarily being a very clear, I'll say, linguistic or physiological execution by the dolphin. So that makes sense to me. And I also wanted to mention, if you felt an energy spike from me, we have someone coming over to do a repair at our home, and my cat was meowing very loudly outside my door. And so I was trying to tend to her communication during your answer. So I apologize for that disruption.
Animals will be animals.
Yes. Um, So we've mentioned a few times this forgotten or maybe hidden ability that humans do have to communicate with dolphins and other animals. My understanding from what you've shared and what we've covered in past sessions with Agape is that likely the way to begin reclaiming that ability or gift would be to raise love consciousness and peace and compassion on earth. Is that true? And is there anything that you as a dolphin would like to share about how you'd encourage us to do that?
You are already doing it, but we would say pay attention less to the things that take that away from you, to shift your attention out of love and joy and excitement. And we encourage you, when you are by the waters, to come and listen to us, to simply be open to hearing us. And for many of you, it may take a lot of practice, while for some of you, it may happen instantly. We certainly yearn for the human connection that we once had. We are very smart creatures. And we understand that many humans can be fearful of us, for we have lost our connection for many generations. We welcome you in with our unconditional love, and we remind everybody that everybody plays a part in the greater good of this earth, not just humanity. All life on this earth is impacted by the energy that is put out by the humans. Unconditional love is easy to find in nature. And we welcome you here.
Thank you. That is such a warm and lovely invitation. I'm eager to tap into that even more. Um, Tammy, when you mentioned that you understand that some humans find dolphins maybe a little frightening due to this loss or deterioration of the connection or communication. At first, I was confused because I'm so pro dolphin. And then I remembered one of our community members brought through a story that was going around on social media where a human said a dolphin, perhaps named Gerald or something like that, had supposedly kidnapped him and taken him to this underwater city and those sorts of things. We talked a little bit about it on one of our previous calls and clarified that while yes, dolphins can communicate with us, this idea of a kidnapping wasn't exactly accurate. Is there anything else you'd like to share about that?
We just wonder what humans think we would need an underwater city for. We live underwater, of course. We think humans are curious about the underwater cities that other humanoids have built. There are always small tells within humanity, a slow leaking of information, a slow awakening, a slow reminder of what you deeply already know. Do underwater cities exist? They do, but not for humans. Dolphins most certainly do not need underwater cities, and the underwater cities that have been built do not need human help.
That was both hilarious and a mic drop, so give me one moment while I digest. Uh, that was really funny. So dolphins don't go to the movies at their suburban cinemaplex in the underwater cities? Oh,
It
so
sounds
good.
quite fun.
Uh, I mean, y'all could watch Flipper and all sorts of things. Okay, so underwater cities do exist, but they aren't for dolphins, and I think you said they're not really for humans either. but you did mention humanoids. Are there any other clues you can give to us today?
There are many creatures that humans are not aware of. We will also say that some humans have also built structures underwater to house humans for when they perceive that the world will end. So those do also exist. However, not from a dolphin named Gerald.
Okay,
With that,
interesting.
the humanoids that have their underwater cities, do you recall the movie Mermaid?
A little bit.
There is some truth in that. In fact, many movies that humans make are a form of disclosure, and books as well. There are even humans that will say, creative humans, humans that write books and make movies and paint elaborate pictures, that creativity finds them, it is not within them. It is like tuning the antenna to the right station and picking up on the information. Much like channeling, it is information that is received. And even
Yes.
many producers of movies are in connection with the star family, the deeper parts of themselves, in the spiritual realms that bring the information for what these movies shall be.
Yes, I was actually having a conversation with some friends recently about some of what you touched on, this idea that our technology, our movies, our books are not they are from this channeled, picking up on the frequency place. And what I also brought up is that sometimes they seem to reflect back to us lost wisdom, ancient technology, things about ourselves that we once knew and either forgot or were encouraged to forget. It's as if our consciousness always finds a way to reemerge. And sometimes it's as if we're ushering that through in the forms of the content that we create as a way to sort of wake ourselves up and remind ourselves of what we're capable of.
And yes,
It's so cool.
we have a question for you.
Uh-oh. Okay.
We would like to know what humans would like us to know about you.
Oh gosh. Let me see. Tammy, I can see how challenging this is to be the one spokesperson for all the Dolphins, so give me a second. Well, I think I would reflect back some of what you already said about humans, which is that we are in a time of what feels like collective transition from a form of humanity that maybe forgot or downplayed our abilities as creators, as loving beings, as imaginative beings. But I feel encouraged to share that a good number of us are reclaiming, remembering, and rejuvenating those parts of ourselves, which is it's very exciting to not just witness that, but be a participant and leader in it. And I would say curiosity and innovation are key aspects of what makes humans human, as well as perseverance, for lack of a better word. I think when I really consider the best of humanity, it's encouraging to remember that even when external circumstances seem challenging, I find a lot of hope in how humanity pulls together, finds a solution, gets creative, um, and finds a way to remember love. So that's what I would share. Any questions about that?
We do not have questions about that. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you for asking. I know that when we end this call, I'll be like, there were 10 more things I should have said, but I'll trust that what came through is what needed to come through in this moment. Um, I have a few more questions. We've talked a little bit about how sometimes humanity makes decisions that I find confusing or disappointing, and how dolphins have always been incredibly high vibrational creatures. So I'm wondering, in a group or community, do dolphins ever disagree with one another? Or are you so loving that you're all in some form of like near perfect unity consciousness with one another?
We do have forms of disagreement.
Can you tell us anything about how dolphins have worked through a disagreement and how you came to a resolution in a specific instance?
Through good communication, and good communication is a combination of adequately explaining what is going on in your feelings and emotions, and being a good listener and comprehending that as individuals, we do not have or know somebody else's emotions and beliefs. And then we are compassionate about the other's feelings and beliefs through a situation. And then collectively and together, we find a solution that works for everybody.
So even though you all are capable of communicating telepathically, it's not as if you get instant all access pass to each other's feelings and thoughts and beliefs, correct?
We can share feelings and emotions, but we are still individuated in our experiences as dolphins. And
And
so, sort of yes, sort of no. And it is always a choice to share that.
that makes sense. I've always wondered about that with I'll call them gifts or capabilities, but with things like telepathy, can someone just get into my brain and can I get into theirs or can a doll? Interesting. Um, oh, it looks like my internet connection might be a little unstable, but hopefully that resolves. Uh, I'm aiming to keep this PG-13, but my understanding is that dolphins are also very sensual creatures. Y'all, based on what I understand, you all don't have like a designated mating season. You're kind of always in a sensual mode. And our perception of dolphins is that they seem pretty fluid in terms of sexuality in general. And I'm wondering, does this have any connection to why you all seem so happy? Or maybe just a general message you'd like to share with us about how sensuality, appreciating the physical pleasures of life is something that is part of what we're meant to experience.
There are a few aspects of this that we can touch on. One is that we embrace the energy of creation, and much in the way that humans do, we create life through sensuality. It is an energy that we give to the world and to each other, and it is a shared energy, much more shared than most human pleasures. We also do not possess the ability to judge on preferences, but we embrace the act of creativity, the sharing of the energy. It is almost more of a ritual for us, a ritual that comes with a pleasure, and one that we do not collectively assign any negative meanings to in the way that humans do. We simply be, and we do what brings us joy and excitement, and we share love for all without judgment.
I love that. And it touches on something that I've sensed, but I continue to have a hard time putting words to, which is that enjoying ourselves and expressing ourselves, they don't have to be these inherently hedonistic things, which is just, it's a fancy word for like selfish and naughty. Those things can be beautiful and they can uplift other people. Um, so yeah, that affirms some things that I've been trying to put my finger on. Um, I know we talked a little bit about underwater cities, but as we're nearing the end of our time together, I wanted to ask if there's anything you'd like to share about the health and vitality of the ocean at this time. We've channeled on the topic of, I'll say, the health and frequency of planet Earth itself, which of course the ocean is part of. And so, um, being the first beings or being we've worked with from the ocean, I'm wondering if there's anything in particular you'd like to share about the ocean's frequency, vibration, and health at this time.
Mother Earth and all of its creatures are extremely resilient, but things do compound when chemicals are put into the waters and trash is littered into the waters. It certainly compounds on the life within the waters, and not just the ocean. That is waters across the entire planet. But we are resilient. And as are humans, they do recognize and care about the impact on a fairly small scale at this time, but it will grow bigger and bigger. And there's already a growing of people who no longer use the single use plastic that ends up in the waters. There are already people who refuse to participate in chemicals that last forever. And it will take many years, but over time, Mother Earth will take back her health with all waters, all soils, and all of the life on her. And this is her ecosystem. This is her planet and her life, and everything that is on it is hers. And she will rebalance, even if some humans are trying so hard to get her to stay out of balance. She is always in control.
Roger that. That resonates deeply. And it is very encouraging to hear that our our steps toward progress or consciousness and how we, I'm going to say, are good tenants on this planet. Like we're kind of living here because Gaia has agreed to let us be here, and it's a little bit of a mutuality thing. It's very encouraging to hear that our conscious improvements do make a difference, and that we don't need to be in fear about you know, whether our small impacts matter or not. There's confirmation that it does add up and we are trending in the right direction. So thank you for that. Very encouraging for us to keep going with those good choices as well. My last question for you before I open it up to anything else you'd like to share or ask me is there a game that I and other humans might be able to play with dolphins via something like telepathy or our imagination?
Something like an I Spy game. We can share images with each other. You can share I Spy a tree. And then we get to find a tree. And then we can send you an image of something that we spy that you can try to find.
Cool. I'm so curious what underwater beings and creatures you might be able to share with me. That's super cool. Okay, thank you. Any other parting thoughts, questions, messages for us today, Tammy?
We appreciate the connection. It has brought us so much joy to be a part of your community, and we are truly grateful. And we leave you with our unconditional love. Thank you.
Sending it right back. So grateful to be here with you. Welcome back. Take your time.
Thank you, ma'am. Tammy felt big.
Oh, big energy?
Big, really big. Like I felt like I was like so far up here.
Really? Wait,
Yeah,
whenever you're feeling ready to share more, please do.
yeah, I don't know how to describe it. Like just like physically big. Like I felt like I was bending down a lot to hit the microphone.
Wow, that
Yeah,
is
so
interesting.
yeah, it was. It was cool. Lots of love energy. And I felt a lot of passion when she was talking about the previous human connections that like dolphins had. Um,
Hmm.
like a lot of like love and reminiscent joy, almost like remembering somebody who's passed kind of feeling.
Yeah, it did feel like that. I had to ground a little bit just because I got a little sad, if I'm honest. Like, who wouldn't want to be hanging out with dolphins all the time? How did we mess that up?
Right? Gosh, I'll be so interested to learn as time goes on, like our individual connections with dolphins, because I used to, when I was a little kid, I was obsessed with dolphins. And I
Yeah,
live in the
oh, go
Midwest.
ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just saying, I live in the Midwest. It's not like I like saw dolphins ever.
Yeah, I mean, even being a California kid, I think I saw maybe one instance of dolphins in the wild, if that. But I'm connecting the dots between something Tammy said about how human creativity and the movies we make and the books we write, they're like messages, and they're reminders of the past. And now I'm just like, I don't know if you remember this from when we were kids, but the Lisa Frank stationery and Trapper Keepers, like the way every kid was wild for like rainbow psychedelic dolphins in the early 90s is like no joke. And I'm like, maybe that was a thing you're meant to remember. I don't know, man.
I forgot. Heck yeah, I'm into that. That and the unicorns and yes, all things Lisa Frank.
All of it. Yeah, and dolphins were popular beyond Lisa Frank too. I mean, there were kids that had like entire dolphin decorated bedrooms. So it was a thing, and I can't help but think that happened for a reason. Maybe we're a
It sure
generation of
did.
dolphin kids made to encouraged to remember.
Right? Oh my gosh, wait, that's a really good point. Yeah. And maybe that's why our generation, or I guess I don't really know if it's like I don't want to say restricted, but like more in our generation, or if it's just the times that people are having these connections with dolphin energy.
Yeah.
But all the videos I've seen, these people look around our age.
Yeah. Yeah, it's never to say that it's exclusive to folks our age. Like, I mean, people older than us studied dolphins back when and all sorts of things, but I do think there was a prominence of dolphin mania when we were little.
Dolphins, baby. Huh.
Dolphins.
Oh, you can't see it because I've got this background, but I've got a collection of pictures I've created. I am going to add a dolphin to it.
Yes, you are, ma'am. That's gonna be cool. Share photos when you do that. Anything else about the connection with Tammy from behind the scenes? I always love this part when I get to ask you, like, did you see any images that were like, I know sometimes when you're channeling, you're a little bit, it's like you're observing yourself. So I'm curious if there
Hmm.
was anything else you picked up on.
Um, I guess like in my own version, I was asking them about eating fish and like what it feels like to eat life like that.
Oh,
And um, because I've just had the assumption that high vibrational beings don't eat flesh. But then she was like, we have such deep respect for all versions of life, and that includes plant life. And we understand that we have to consume energy in order to have energy. And they also just were sharing of it like it's not a bad thing. Um,
mm,
and like they think it's kind of strange that humans associate a bad thing with consuming flesh, but not plant flesh. They were like, life is life, and all of it's important to us. It's when you give it respect that
yeah.
like defines the characteristics of high vibrational or not high vibrational, not the actual substance in your body. So I thought that was really interesting. Um, so whenever I go into state, um, I'm always in the car, in the driver's seat of the car, and then I get into it's like a bench seat, and I get into the passenger seat, and I let energy, whatever energy, get into the driver's seat. And this time it was legit a dolphin, and it was super funny because I always imagine it as a manual shifter, and the dolphin was like, I can't grab that thing, you have to grab it.
These flippers aren't made for that. That's
So
so
they're like, I'll give you the permission. So they put their like flapper on my hand, and then I did the gear shifter, which was just funny. And I was like, this is going to be fun.
that is so fun. This has happened before on our channeling calls where I'll have some questions pulled together and there will maybe be one or two in the list I've come up with where I'm like, I hope this isn't received as disrespect or, oh, you're being very human right now, you know?
Mhm.
Um, because my very first question was like, yo, sorry to be rude, but like, am I talking to a dolphin? Am I talking to a group of dolphins? Is Agape just telling us about that? What's like, no offense, but can you introduce yourself? And right away they're like, hello, we are a group of dolphins. Like, which is pretty cool. And then some of the questions I had about the 1960s psychedelic experiments, I was like, I want to know because it would feel rude to not ask, but also I recognize this is like not a great part of our relationship history. So I was going back and forth on whether to ask it, but Tammy partway through was like, y'all are curious people and we get that, but sometimes you take advantage of us and we don't like that. I was like, okay, I can lean into this question now. So it's always really interesting to see that they do pick up on like where I may be feeling a little uncomfortable and they like help invite that question.
Dude, that's gonna make me cry. That's wild.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that is cool. Also, I don't know if dolphins do this, but I'll assume that they do since it's something I was seeing. But the like collection that I was with, they were just kind of like having this it was almost like a powwow where they just were vertical in the water and kind of just like hanging out, sharing.
Okay, yeah. So even though normally when we think of them swimming in forward motion, they're horizontal, you saw them more upright. Yeah?
Uh-huh. Yeah, like a collection of them just sitting there upright and like sharing their information with me.
You know what's interesting is that what I immediately feel is that I don't know that we've scientifically observed them doing that, but it feels right, like whether we've physically seen them do that. I'm like, of course they're going to be like hanging out in the back alley being like, "Well, what do you think, Fred? Should we tell them like
Let's play some hacky sack while we're at it. So funny.
So cool. So Tammy felt big. What an impressive energy.
Mhm.
It felt to me sparkly. Take that for
Ooh.
what you will. Like just playful and like even when they were talking about things that were a little bit more dense or challenging, it still felt very like, and now we're gonna bring you back to the fun. And like it kind of always went back in that direction and not in a way where I felt dismissed or like challenges were bypassed or pushed away. It was just like, yes, we can acknowledge that. And also, isn't it wonderful that we're all curious creatures?
Yeah, I agree. I definitely felt that uh like we'll address the uncomfy things, but we're not going to sit there and hang out there.
Yeah. That's why I only had like one or two questions about it. I was like, okay, let's get back to the fun part, please.
Oh my god, we just channeled dolphins, Lexi. What the
We
heck?
did.
I'm gonna be honest, like that's falls into that visibility realm where I'm like, are people gonna think we're crazy if they don't already?
Side note, so what?
Yeah,
That's what
it's also not my responsibility to
yeah.
assign that thought to
You know what
people.
I've been coming back to lately is I'm going to speak pretty plainly, even though humanity and the planet right now is a very nuanced experience. If I'm considered sick or cuckoo compared to mainstream, when I look at the mainstream, I'm like, that looks kind of sick and cuckoo. So if I'm outside of that, I'm okay. I'm okay with that.
True, that's true. Yeah, you're right. You are absolutely right. Uh, and also, like, sorry they're not participating in the magic because that was awesome.
It was so cool. Absolutely. I loved that question too about whether dolphins watch us hanging out on the shore the way that we look at them. I was like, I know the answer is yes, but I just really want to get it confirmed because that's so beautiful to think about it in that poetic, like, we're all just kind of watching each other and being curious. Like, how cool is that?
Wait, I just noticed something. Is that a four-leaf clover on your shirt?
Absolutely, ma'am. And it
Ah,
says, stay in your magic. And it has a horseshoe and a ladybug too.
oh my gosh, I love that shirt, and that's definitely a synchronicity. But
Yay!
I know. Um,
Here,
but
I'm going to
let's
stop the recording just so we can. Thank you,
talk.
whoever's watching. We're excited to hear how this lands with you. Happy Dolphin Day!